Well, it's Uncommon Fossil today, taking a look at a counter deck. It's a deck that I kind of am thinking about playing post-rotation, but I figured, hey, give it a go now, too. Look, and this is not a post-rotation build because you'll see it's playing cards like Path to the Peak. So, but, that makes the deck better now. So there's no reason not to play cards that don't make it better now. But look, the logic behind this for me is basic walling. I think is going to be very good post-rotation in large part because we're getting a bunch of new ancient and future Pokemon, a bunch of new Paradox Pokemon. And you know what they are? They're all basics. Everybody wants to try out the new Pokemon. I do too. So I don't blame people for that. But that means there's going to be a lot of people playing basic only decks. So we want to wall them off. And we're losing Flying Pikachu VMAX. We are losing the Ice Cube that walls, but we are keeping Noivern EX. So Noivern EX is a Stage 1 Dragon Pokemon. 260 HP, not a bad number, and it's got two attacks that are disruptive to your opponents. One, Covert Flight, which is the one for walling basics for 2 colorless energy, does 70 damage, not huge, but it's there for the walling effect as well as while it's getting damage done. So 70 damage and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. Now, of course, if your opponent gusts you out of the active and back in, then you lose that ability once you leave the active spot. But we are losing Rope, so Rope Boss is no longer a thing you'll have to worry about either. So very, very nice option, I think. And then another attack does bigger damage, 140 for Psychic Dark. As you know, Dragon type Pokemon have dual energy types. And then during opponent's next turn, they can't play any special energy or stadiums from their hand. Now, right now, the special energies aren't all that used, so that's not the biggest thing generally. And with Path being rotated, that's not as effective, but we'll see what happens, right? That can be effective as things move on. Right now, though, the fact that I have the Path in the deck, that makes that attack more helpful, and obviously it does bigger damage. And then the other Pokemon in the deck, which I do want to have in the deck post-rotation, is Mimikyu. Actually, the Pokemon are all the Pokemon I think I want in the deck post-rotation. We'll see what new ones we pick up. But Mimikyu, walling, right? We're losing Path to the Peak, which means Pidgeot EX is going to go into a lot of decks, rare candies, and of course, EX is just really good. So Mimikyu takes advantage of these EX Pokemon, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacking your opponent's EX and V Pokemon. Of course, Vs aren't all rotating either. The V stars stick around as well as a few other Vs as well. And then it does 70 damage. Ghost Eye places 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for Psychic Colors. The problem is, because it's placing damage counters, then if Mew EX copies the attack and Safeguard doesn't prevent you getting the 7 damage counters put on you, so you're knocked out there. So that's not, I'd prefer probably not placing the damage counters if it was just a regular attack, but that's the way they designed it. So 2 Mimikyu and a 3/4 Noibat line. And we also are playing 2 Klefkis, which is very disruptive. I don't know that I'm going to play. Actually, Klefki is necessary for Lost One for one reason, right? For one thing. So Mischievous Lock ability, as long as it's this Pokemon's the active spot. Basic Pokemon in play, including your own, have no abilities except for Mischievous Lock. Now, Mimikyu's got an ability that keeps it from getting knocked out, but unless your opponent can gust, your Mimikyu is in the active when it's getting attacked, right? Almost all the time. So, if they gusted up your Klefki and you took advantage of it, Alakazam, right, and smacked you on the bench, I give my opponent credit for that, right? That actually would work because Alakazam is an evolution is an EX Pokemon, but Mischievous Lock would turn off that ability. But hey, I'm not going to worry about that, right? And then for an engine, playing a Xatu engine, a 3/4 Xatu line. But 2 Klefkis, I should say that because if you're up against Lost Zone, it's really critical. That it obviously shuts down all basics. Genesect V, which of course is rotating. Lumineon V, I don't think that was rotating. I'm not positive on that though. But anyway, it helps with other basic abilities as well, right? So Miraidon EX shuts down that ability, for instance. So, and you can attack with it. Does 10, gets rid of tools. That's probably not what you want it for. But if your opponent plays Rope, which is why we need 2 now, post rotation, maybe we can go to 1 because Rope goes away. With Rope, you send one from the bench to the active. As long as we have a Klefki on the bench, we can we get to choose what goes in there, so it makes it harder for our opponent to bump Klefki. They have to have a boss or something like that to actually pick a different bench Pokemon, which they can't do as often, right? And then a Xatu engine, we need to get Psychic Energies into play, and it gives a nice draw engine, Clairvoyant Sense. Once during a turn, you may attach a basic Psychic Energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. Can't accelerate with the active, of course, that would be good. If you do that, if you accelerate energy that way, you draw 2 cards. So it's a nice engine, and of course, acceleration is good. So since the evolutions, we want to get those set up early, play 4 of the basics in both those cases, and 3 of the stage 1s. Just they're a little more work to get set up. So, but you probably want to get up a couple of Xatus, a couple of Noiverns, not bad, a Mimikyu, maybe Klefki, depending on the situation. That's kind of the way the deck works. So a counter deck against a few different things, and it will win games, right? It has its weaknesses, a deck like this. You can't get around that. There are things that are going to beat you that you can't wall off. But there's a number of matchups that you can win. And, of course, you can always tinker with the deck to try to help out with those other matchups as well. So getting into the energies, 4 dark energies, 8 psychic energies, right? We want more psychic because, well, first, Mimikyu takes psychic and not dark. And Xatu accelerates psychic. I like 12 energies in the deck. Maybe you could go 9 psychic, 3 dark. Maybe I'm not certain. More psychic is good for the general consistency. Less dark means you may run into problems more often, right? So that's kind of the balance you have to find there. All right, playing 2 copies of Raihan. This is rotating. As I said, it's not a post-rotation build because, hey, use the pieces we have right now, but if your Pokemon's knocked out during your opponent's last turn, accelerate a basic energy from the discard pile, search your deck for any 1 card, so very good there. 1 Escape Rope, 2 Switch, that's the switching I'm playing here. Pokemon Surge, let's see, 2 Level Ball, which is really just for the basics, right? Because we have Noibat, Mimikyu, Klefki, Natu, and 4 Battle VIP Pass. This is a deck that I'll take. Obviously, Level Ball rotates, and I will, as well as Battle VIP Pass, but I will put 4 Buddy PAF in, and that will replace these 6 cards because it gets 2 cards into play just like Battle VIP Pass, but you can use it after your first turn. So 4 Buddy PAF is better than these 6 cards in the deck. So excited about Buddy PAF, and then 4 Ultra Ball. The deck has to have that. We need the evolution Pokemon, and none of those are searchable with Level Ball. Okay, we're playing 4 Path to Peak, like I said. Obviously, that's rotating, so that's a blow to the deck, but that's fine, right? We'll just deal with that. But for now, we want it in the deck because it's very good. 3 Judge, because Path Judge is very effective. 3 Iono, that gets better as the game goes along. Puts your opponent in a very small hand size. 2 Boss's Order, of course, very powerful, and 2 Counter Catcher, right? It's nice having that gusting effect without using your support. Of course, you have to be behind the prizes, but hey, you're going to find yourself in that situation often enough with a deck like this. And then what else do we play? We play 1 Super Rod, get back up to 3, any combination of Pokemon and or basic energy from the discard pile into your deck. And I think that's everything. So I think a pretty straightforward deck. Well, look, it's a counter deck. Obviously, you need to know what you need. Do you need Klefki in play or not? Is Noivern what you want to attack with? And if so, which attack do you use? If you're using the first attack, you can have 2 dark or 2 colorless energies. If you want to use Dominating Echo, you need 1 of each. And then Mimikyu, getting that set up, trying to get the engine set up. So getting the engine set up and having energy often enough to use the ability for both the acceleration and the draw, that's important. It needs a little bit of luck with that. But the deck is working pretty well, I will say. I'm finding... that there's enough there's still a lot of matchups which finds this deck difficult, and I do think it will be even a better place post-rotation. But let's take a look and see what we can do on the deck, with the deck on the ladder now. All right, let's see what we can do here. This is the deck I like. It's kind of a counter deck. I always like counter decks. It's the deck I put together myself, which is the most rewarding thing. It takes work, it takes time to do, and I'm trying. I do like making a video a day. That I don't know how long I'll continue with that. Do want to go first. It's an evolution deck, right? The Xatus, the Noiverns are evolutions, and I need 2 energies, which I can't get in play anyway. Turn 1 to attack. Well, I can attack with Klefki, I guess, but that's not getting me very far. All right, this is not a good starting hand, but we'll see. See what I draw and what my opponent does. Maybe up against. Okay, the Mew is a trick there. May have Mew EX. All right, so I will I'm not going to bench the PAF. That's the only other thing I could do here, right? We'll see what happens. Not liking my spot is what I'll say. If I hit any energy next turn, then I can attack with the first attack, which will take a prize. Ooh, yeah, Mask. So he evolves into... Ooh, I'm trying to remember. I think he changed... This is one I think that becomes a grass Pokemon, right, if I recall? And I think so, a grass Pokemon that uses Psychic Energy. This is the new good strong Pokemon. So we'll see what happens here. Not obvious. Okay, Iono, thank you. Path will be good to Showtime Radiant Alakazam, I think. So, well, this is not good. Not good at all. No, we'll see what my opponent does. Maybe I'll just sit on the boss. This is pretty horrific, right? So I'll play the path. Do I want to get all 3 Noiblats in play? I don't. I've never had a game where I really want to play 3 Noiverns. And I don't think this is the game for that either. So I don't want to get a third Noibat. I apologize. I've said that wrong in the past, and I got to stop doing that. It's Noibat. All right, do 40. That's not great. Halfway to getting knocked out, though. So it could be worse. It's not good, though. Not good. Mimikyu could be very effective in this deck. In this matchup, we will see. So I apologize if I said Noiblat in the introduction. It's Noibat. I know I did that badly. I butchered that name repeatedly. All right, good. Thank you. Because I don't have much. They don't have much. I'm liking this for sure. So, okay, got a Noivern. Got a Natu. I'll have to decide if I actually want to Iono or not this turn. Because if they don't get anything going, right, then it's one of those things where, okay, Mew EX. Okay. And like I said, Mew EX does one-shot the Mimikyu, which is very unfortunate, I will say. But, you know, I think I'm going to survive this turn. So I'll take the first prize. Of course, then they have Counter Catcher to use. But, so play him. Evolve Noivern EX there, attached to the Noibat on the bench. And I'll play Iono because I need to just get things set up, right? And I could have evolved to a Xatu if I hit it, right? And such. So, okay. Well, that's pretty good. How do I want to work this? Do I want to stop them? I think, do I want to stop them from... I think I want to stop them from bumping my stadium. That's what I want to do. So I don't think I want another Natu down. So what do I want to get down? Do I want to get a Mimikyu down? Or do I want to... I could evolve him too, right? I'm going to bench a Mimikyu. Put an energy onto the Mimikyu. That's my thought, right? The question is, where do I want... I was thinking, where do I want to accelerate this energy to, right? I need to use my clairvoyant sense, right? Because part of it is I'd rather get a dark onto the Noibat. So I will use the second attack. Yeah, they can't bump Path, which is good, I think. I could be immune to basics, and of course that does have value against Mew EX. Okay, so another level ball. I probably have... I'm not sure if my fourth Natu's prized or not. So we'll see what happens. So, but they evolve Cofagrigus, and this is unfortunate, right? So I'm going to give them a little... Yeah, they place 5 damage counters as well. Now, if they get knocked out, the fact that I do have Path of the Peak in play helps, right? Because they don't get to search their card deck for any one card when they get knocked out, or when they're damaged, actually, right? So Oh, knocked out from damage. So, okay, so it has to be knocked out. All right, so they finally got a Xatu down. So they'll accelerate, I'm guessing, to the Mew EX. Maybe to the Yamask. We'll see. Is that right? Yamask? Yes. Okay. All right, so yeah, Mikafa is very troublesome in this matchup. This is not a great matchup for him, right? It's a counter deck. I'll keep Path to the Peak in play. And they're just going to take out the Mimikyu, unfortunately. I mean, I can boss here too, right? I mean, that's an option. I don't think I want to do that at this point, though, right? I don't think I do. That 1, 2, 3. Do I want to use? Okay, let me. Just trying to think if I want to. There's a Noibat. Do I have? I have another Noivern too. Both Noiverns are there. Okay, I'm gonna accelerate a Psychic Energy to the Noibat that doesn't have energy. Then I'll attach Dark to the guy that already has an energy because I can evolve him this turn. So I will attach energy here. I will judge. I mean, look, also want to do the bigger damage too because then I can two-shot them, right? Which is good for me. All right, that's not terrible. So do 140. They can't just bump my path with another stadium, which means they can't move damage counters around, which of course they'd love to do, right? Because they would love to move to possibly take, they could knock out the Mimikyu mid-turn or get those, they have extra damage on, no, they don't finish one-shot the Noivern, but they'd love to do some damage manipulation. So getting up another Coffer, that's not ideal, but, not a shocker there. Okay, another Yamask. So, all right, and Iono, which is fine. I was thinking of just playing that myself. It's kind of Iono or Judge. All right, another Psychic Energy. Have a Noivern EX, so this is all very nice. His retreat cost is free, so I won't get knocked out. So I didn't mention that, right? The Noivern EX is a pivot, so I can. They're not going to knock me out. I can swing him to the bench. The problem is they can finish me off on the bench, though. So it's actually better to leave the active because they're going to knock me out. Better to do overkill on the knockout, right? Have them put extra damage counters on me. The 5 damage counters they can sprinkle around, so those don't get wasted. So they can put like 2 on Mimikyu and they can put 3 somewhere else. Might put them on the Noibat, right? Putting starting damage on the Noibat is a big deal. Fortunately, it's just 3 and not 4. That's a big deal there. So okay, so I do have Raihan as well. Do I want a Raihan? That's a good question. I don't really know if I want it this turn. I think I'm going to accelerate to the Noibat. All right, good. I like that card. I'll evolve the Noivern, and I will Iono, I think. And I'm not choosing to bench the Mimikyu because they handle the Mimikyu much too easily. All right, got that Dark Energy, which I like as well. I think I'll just sit on things at this point. Actually, yeah, I'll sit on things at this moment. So, yeah, keep them from bumping my stadium still. I think I want to keep that path in play. Worker, of course, bumps the path. I don't know if they play that, but they may play Lost Vacuum. I don't know. I'm playing the Xatu engine myself. Xatu engine, I like it, but it's not the most efficient engine, is what I'll say, because you have to have energy. Now, they're a Psychic Energy deck only, which therefore they can take a much better advantage of the Xatu engine. The fact that I have Dark as well as Psychic Energy just means I'm going to have the Psychic Energy to use Clairvoyant Sense a little less often. So I do want to evolve this Noibat next turn for sure. Okay. So yeah, hitting me with Kofagrugus is going to take the knockout. We'll see what they do. One on this Noivern and 4 on to the Noibat would be, I think that would be pretty optimal. But they didn't do that. They're overdoing him, which is okay, right? That's great. We'll see if that ultimately matters, but they didn't need to put that extra damage on there, I will say. So Counter Catcher, he doesn't work yet. He'll work next turn though, right? He should. So let me get rid of Battle VIP Pass and the Natu and grab the Noivern. What else do I have in here? I'll take a look. So I have the Raihan, because I haven't used those. Have a Counter Catcher. Have a Darkness Enter. Dark or Darkness. I'm still not certain what it's supposed to be called. I'm going to attach this energy here. And, I mean, I could Gust, right? I could... do I want to Gust? I could Gust up the Raihan Alakazam and stall them out, probably, right? For a turn. Take that one prize. I think I'm going to wait on that, though. We'll see how things go. I'm a little concerned, right? I don't know that knocking out the Raihan Alakazam helps me. It helps me close the game, but I need 3 prizes, so I think I have to take out the Kofagrugus and one other Pokemon. We'll see what happens here. Having the Counter Catcher helps as well. I'm not sure that's going to help me out. It helps if they dodge things. At this point, I may finish off the Kofagrugus this next turn, and then then the boss gets me game, taking out one of these other, either the Xatu or the Raihan Alakazam. All right, they want to get that other Kofagrugus evolved, obviously. So if they do that, if they switch Pokemon, they do lose the energy on this Kofagrugus, which is good for me. They probably if they have to hard retreat, right? They have a pretty big hand, so I don't know what their options are. So we will see what happens here. I could just play the Level Ball to thin my deck, to thin my hand, right? If they Iono me back, then the boss goes to the bottom of the deck, which I don't love that. The Devolution, ouch. Okay, well, that's a smart play there for sure. But they take 2 prizes. But fortunately, I just take 1 prize, actually. So it's not terrible, right? And I now can... Do I want to use... I could use my Counter Catcher. I have the Noivern, right? So the Noibat gets evolved this turn. I evolve both of these guys. I don't think they can win this turn. So the question is, what gives me the best chance here, right? I use my big attack. I have the boss here, right? I could Counter Catcher this turn and save the boss, but I don't know if that really helps me. All right, I'll thin my deck out a little bit, right? I'll just grab the Noibat. Do I want to thin more? All right, I have a boss in deck still. Okay, so that's part of what I want to know. I don't want to... the worst thing I could do would be to use Xatu and draw that boss in the hand. That would be very, very bad, right? So take the knockout. They can't bump Path. They can't knock out my Noivern, I don't believe. So boss gets me game, but we'll see. There's a good chance I get disrupted. I might get Iono to 1. And then they may just have game at that point. All right, they sent the Mew up. That means they cannot accelerate to it with the Xatu, which may be good for me. Now where are they going to go to? Raihan Alakazam, because he's pretty good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. What does it do? 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he does 160. If they don't disrupt my hand, of course, I have boss, which gives me game. So they're playing Judge. Okay, that gets me 4. That's a lot better than Iono for me. And if I hit an energy, I don't. I have Counter Catcher. That's not going to do me any good. All right, we'll see what happens. See what happens. Okay, Spiritomb doesn't do anything. I don't want to bench another Pokemon, I don't think. I think I just attack this turn. See what happens. I don't win next turn still. See if they have. Of course, Iono's bad. Although, honestly, Iono's probably better than nothing because I see 2 new cards with Iono. I see the 1 card from the Iono. These cards go to the bottom of my hand. I don't want these cards. I have 2 bosses in deck. One's near the bottom. All right, got the concession because they weren't going to be able to knock me out, right? I had game. I mean, they could have retreated to the bench, but I just needed one more knockout for game. So 1 prize for game. So there's the deck. Did its job. So getting the new ladder rank 2. So fun. Not the easiest matchup, but the deck got the job done. All right, let's see what happens. Hopefully not Lost Zone Tina. That's a matchup that pretty tough. I can't really wall it off effectively at all, right? Because the Mimikyu, obviously, well, they have the Cramorant for that, and also the Giratina V's Shred Attack hits through. All right, fortunately, taking a mulligan, both mulligan. That's at least a plus. I don't go down on cards. Let's see what I'm up against. Darkness. So, oh no, that's me. Okay. So I want Mimikyu in the active. So Noibat. So Noiverns with Dominating Echo can help path the stick, which is right. So I'm assuming I saw the Charmeleon. So they play It's a Charizard EX deck, I assume, and I'm guessing they play Pidgeot EX. So, okay. So, bench you, and I will take out a Charmander this turn. So that is good, right? And I have a Noivern. So at this point, I would attach a second energy to Mimikyu, evolve to Noivern, and Iono, right? That's what I would do. Hopefully, I'd love to get a... okay. I mean, all right. And that doesn't matter. They might not know what this deck is exactly that they're up against. So, I mean, I would have liked to have seen something else. Well, that wasn't a bad hand, actually. I need to hit an energy. That's the biggest thing. And I got that. All right, well, that's not bad. I mean, I would have liked to have evolved to Noivern as well, but it's not bad. At this point, if this is how the things stand, I take out the Charmander, and I'm happy about things. All right, they'll probably get another Charmander down. They really need to do that, right? So they drop discarded Manaphy. I don't know why they benched the Jirachi, right? All right, so Pidgey, that's okay. I mean, the big thing is I'm taking out the Charmander. That's what I want to do. So, so my Mimikyu should survive a turn. Okay, not bad. Get these 2 guys down. Second energy. Take the knockout. They can't attack me with obviously the Rotom V. Probably can't attack anyway, right? The Jirachi, I mean, it doesn't damage me. Excuse me. Excuse the yawn there. And the Pidgey, I don't know if they probably don't play the stage 1. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. I think one time I was playing this deck, and I think it was a different deck, but because it had the Devolution, TM Devolution, which I'm pretty sure I don't have in this deck, right? I don't think so. Don't think so. I mean, it could be a useful card, of course, but I don't know. It's good against rare candy decks. That's really what it'd be there for. for the most part. Now, I mean, it could also help with the Noivern's attacks. You're not doing big damage, so you get it down below the HP of the basics, the basic Pokemon. They retreat to the bench or whatever, and boom, we just get rid of the evolution, and the HP drops, and they're done. All right, so Rotom going to get, we'll see, another Charmander, I would think. Okay, getting the Pidgeot EX. That makes sense. That's a good card. Obviously, I wish I had got past to the Peak and play, but that was not meant to be. But I can evolve to Xatu, and okay. I mean, that's what they need to get down. And now they can evolve him next turn. Justify Gloves. Does that do anything I care about? I don't. No. Okay, which is fine. All right, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, a boss would be a great pull too. Would like to get this Noivern evolved, I think. All right, Mimikyu. I mean, that's good. Getting another Mimikyu. I like that too. So, not bad. Not bad. I mean, I would like to have gotten an energy onto the Mimikyu as well, right? So part of it is, do they play the stage one? They do, right? I know they do because I saw the stage one. Now, the difficulty they have is they don't have energy on the Charmander, which means they can't attack with Charmeleon next turn, right? It needs 2 energy. So therefore, I have, opportunity, right? I would love to smack into the stage one, or I'd love to knock out the basic, right? Or even if they evolve the stage one this turn, ideally they'll evolve the stage one and get energy on it. That might be their play, right? Because I think Charmeleon, is a 90 HP Pokemon. Get it with Level Ball. That Jirachi wasn't, that was an unfortunate play. So, okay, so he knocks me out next turn. Although then he knocks himself out because I do 70 to him, or he puts 20 on himself, and then I can finish him off. So, right, they can finish me off once, but that's not great. Okay, so I have the switch cards, so I'm fortunate there. See what they do. I probably switch, but maybe I don't. I mean, honestly, okay, so now things get scary for me, right? So Iono. All right, well, I don't have switch here, but I may have an energy, in which case I attach and retreat. I do have energy. Okay, so okay. Well, that's really good for them. I don't know how many stage ones, how many Charmeleons they have, though. They might just have the one, right? So I think I attach the active and I Iono. That's what I do here, I think. And I Iono. I'm just going to get a little pressure on them, is what I want to do here, I think. Although, what do I want to do here? Do I want to? I think I want to play Path to the Peak, right? I don't think I want the basic wall Noivern, right? Noivern's not huge this game. I don't know if I want to play Noivern at all, actually. So I'm going to do this. I'm gonna retreat and attack because now they need multiple pieces here, and I don't know if they can pull it off. Right? They need an energy from hand to attach, and they need a switch card. Right? They don't have right now. They don't have access to Pidgeot EX's ability. If they could bump the stadium, then they're pretty much. Then I'd be surprised if they can't attack. They're not guaranteed. They need 2 cards. Okay, so. This is real bad, actually, really bad. It's Lost City, so this kind of ruins my life, I will say. Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. I do have Raihan though, so which means I can attack and I can bump. Actually, I want to leave the Lost City in play, don't I? I want Lost City in play because. Then I lost the Charmeleon. If they only have 1 Charmeleon in deck, they have 2 Charmeleons in deck. Well, that's a backbreaker. That's a backbreaker. I think. The good thing is, though, right now, they do not have. I take out the Charmeleon with the energies. That's what I do. All right, so I'm starting to see my plan. I'm kind of seeing a plan here. Knock out the Charmeleon with energy. That's a given. I just have to do that. I have Raihan, so that's okay. And I want to lose. I don't think they can attack this next turn, right? So I think I accelerate the S energy here. I want to grab a psychic energy because I want to draw some cards, right? I don't think I want the I think I want to leave the stadium in play. I leave the stadium in play because this stadium can get me game here. It can get me game, right? So I'll put this energy here. If they blow up 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to evolve. I'm trying to think whether I should evolve. I don't think I evolved this turn. I think because if I can bump the stadium, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So rope, okay. I mean, well, they could play Raihan, right? In which case they knock me out with Lost City in play, and I just lose the game, right? Now I have boss right now, so I'm a bit. Well, they should have set up the Pidgeot EX, right? Because he has free retreat. So hopefully I keep this hand because then I have boss, right? I have boss. I take him out. I lost City him, which might just give me game. I'm guessing they don't. I'm guessing. I'm really hoping. I gotta say, I'm hoping, kind of praying. Okay. Well, this is okay though. So they're not gonna disrupt my hand. I keep the boss, that's what I really care about here. I want them to keep the stadium as well, right? I want that stadium to stay. If they bump the stadium, I may lose the game too, right? And they're searching for whatever they want, so they could be bumping the stadium. They have all different energies too, all fancy energies too, but a nice little mix there. So leave that stadium in play, yes. And I think I may have game at this point, which would be awesome, right? So I boss, I take you out, and I think that's going to be game at this point. No, they can. No, it's not because they're going to knock me out, aren't they? So we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I don't. That's right. I don't knock them out. I do 70, so that we knock each other out. In which case, they need an energy, which they're guaranteed to have. So I kind of, yeah. I think I just lose. All right, that's right. I just lose. They just need well, no, they don't knock me out this turn, do they? They need 4 energy to do this guy, for this guy to work. This is the other Charmeleon. This is not the Charmeleon they want, but I want him out of play too because I just win the game, right? With Mimikyu. I wonder if they play the. I wonder why they play that Charmeleon. What's the advantage? He does 30 for 2, which I guess sometimes is a good attack, right? Are they going to retreat to the bench? I have boss in hand too, though, so I like that as well. So they're going to do 30 to me. We'll see what happens here. So they're retreating. Okay. That's okay. That's fine. So quick search. What are they going to do here, right? Are they going to bump the stadium? Bumping the stadium. Now, they got rid of 2 energy, though, so that slows them down. They need 4 energy to one-shot me, right? And I think that's what they have to do here. So actually, what I do is... Okay, so I just take him out. I could have, swung in with Noivern if I wanted to, right? So I will boss you up. I'm going to attach my dark energy here. It gives me the Noivern EX's option to attack as an option. And there we go. So knockout, you're lost zoned. That probably is game. We'll see. We'll see how things go from here on out. I mean, I'd like to get Path to the Peak and play now. That's what I'd like to see. I could actually, if I play Noivern, it doesn't lose me the game. But I probably don't want. I mean, I don't want to play Noivern because at this point I want to get Path in play. I do have a Rod, so I could recover this one Mimikyu. So I think this is just game, and my opponent is either thinking or just kind of stopped playing, right? I don't know. So Lost City on one hand was necessary, but, because of what that attack does, it really ended the game for them, right? They could only knock out one Mimikyu with him, right? They didn't have the ability to knock out two. Maybe they should have waited on that whole situation because that 20 damage to him to self really ruined things. So my opponent stopped playing, right? I think. So we'll see what happens here. I'll keep playing the game, Anyway, I'm assuming I have the game. I think my opponent stopped playing. So anyway, the deck. I'll just kind of sum up here because hey, look, the deck works. It's really a post rotation deck is my thought. Like I said in the intro, I think basic Walling's really good. So I think Noivern EX is going to be good. The other way to play Noivern EX is with Regidrago V Star, and that obviously stays in format. The tricky thing with Regidrago is getting him set up consistently. I think for this stalling counter deck, I think just have evolving Noivern from Noibat directly and having the Mimikyu is good. Klefki makes Lost Zone possible, I would say, but it depends. You've still got to have things go your way, is what I'd say. So I'm going to play the Judge because, I think my opponent stopped playing the game. So I just need to attack, and then I need to finish my turn. That's what needs to happen. I would have loved to get Path into play though, right? They didn't even use their quick search, so they've given up. And I don't understand why people stop playing. I got to say. And also, I also do draw another prize, which gets me more points towards the battle pass too, which is a little bit weird in the system. I guess the logic behind it, I think, is they don't want donk. Like on the expanded ladder back up PCGO, a lot of people play donk decks because that was the best. Those quick games, you either won or lost, depending on winning the coin toss, basically. And they moved, they earned the most in the in-game economy, and that's not a good thing. Just people grinding donk decks. So I think that's why encouraging prize taking is good. Now, of course, if you want to play control, which is obviously a legitimate option, it's not the most fun thing having a lot of control in format. I grant you that, but so I guess that's the logic there. But then, I do think there are people that concede right before you take the last prize. It does feel like that. It's kind of out of spite at times. I don't think there's a ton of that. When I talk with 10 types, he feels like it's pretty common. I don't think that's what happens a lot, but it does happen. So anyway, but in this case, why did my opponent stop playing? I don't know. Anyway, it's a good counter deck. Walling off basics, very good. Having the Mimikyu, very good. The Xatu engine, I like. I think post rotation, I'll keep the Klefkis. We'll see. Obviously, the trainers are going to shift around some because Raihan goes away. Path to the Peak goes away. They're big losses. Buddy PAF does replace Level Ball and Battle VIP Pass. So, and like I said, the meta I think will be even better for this deck. But look, it's a solid choice now for sure. You win some just by matchup. There are going to be some matchups that are tough, but then there's also a number of matchups that are just going to be skill-based. Can you outplay your opponent, which is always fun to have too. So I encourage you to give the deck a try. Let me know your thoughts about the list now and how the deck will be post-rotation. And have a good day playing some Pokemon.